Hola, ¿cómo están? And what is going on, guys? DarkScheme here, bringing you some Call of Duty action this time around, not Halo. And if you were expecting some Halo, don't be alarmed. I just felt like putting up some Call of Duty gameplay. And to be honest, my channel has always been kind of about putting up whatever content I felt like putting up. And I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty recently, so I said, why not? So I am playing a little bit of free-for-all. So there is the gameplay for you guys. But today I wanted to talk about the evolution of gaming as far as Call of Duty. Now, Call of Duty has come from a staple of, personally from my experience, Call of Duty 4, the first Modern Warfare, that was kind of the beginning of Call of Duty and its reign over first-person shooters on console. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare was a very basic and simple game. If you compare Call of Duty then to Call of Duty now, it is a completely different experience. Sure, you still get your created classes, your custom classes, your red dot sights, and all that stuff, but there is just so much more into the game, and it's very interesting. And one of the reasons I'm actually playing and enjoying Call of Duty at the moment is because Treyarch is the creators of this. Now, Infinity Ward did create the first Modern Warfare, and from then on, Infinity Ward was kind of the staple creator of Call of Duty for me. But it wasn't until the very first Black Ops in which Treyarch ended up supporting their game a ton, and unfortunately Infinity Ward did not support their games as much. Treyarch had that goal and that kind of sight of creating a balanced game for Call of Duty and continuing to support it. And I think one of the Bungie developers put it in terms that made sense to me. Call of Duty is kind of one of those games in which it is always going to have those updates, those and quote-unquote weapon tuning fixes, and in games in which there is just so many different types of weapons to use, it's going to be tough to balance out. And because of that, weapons will shift, and maybe 1 week, 1 month, one weapon will be the best gun in the game, and maybe the next update, a gun that was completely terrible will be the best gun in the game. And that is kind of where it needs to stand, but of course there should be balance. If a gun is the best in the game, it shouldn't be the best by a large margin. It should be the best by just a tad bit. So what the Bungie developers said was that as the game goes on and continues to evolve and the meta of the game shifts, weapons should be fine-tuned and kind of fixed so that different weapon types can kind of have its spotlight in Call of Duty. And so far it's been pretty well at the moment. A lot of these weapons have been tuned and they kind of see a very fine line as far as what makes this weapon good and what makes this other weapon a little bit worse. It's a very tough line to really look at, and if we're really talking about weapon types, then it'll be a bit easier. Assault rifles, of course, they dominate the longer to medium ranges, and submachine guns is medium to close range. Shotguns, a bit of both medium and close ranges. It really depends on the weapon. But it has so much diversity in which Call of Duty has kind of evolved from that it isn't just about the weapons, but it is also about the movement in the game. Like I said earlier, if you compare Black Ops 3 right now as it is to the very first Modern Warfare, it's a completely different moveset. The characters move a little bit different, not just with the thruster pack or the wall riding, but also how the character moves as far as on the ground. You're able to slide around and shoot characters. The perk system actually helps enable some extra movement as far as sprinting and being able to shoot. And of course, like I said earlier, wall riding is a big deal as well. Being able to jump up to a wall, run across it, and jump off that wall and wall ride on another wall makes a very interesting and creative experience for everybody playing it. Maybe one wall that you actually didn't know you could run on is now a wall you can run on and are doing every single time, and it kind of just ups your game that way. The maps in Black Ops are kind of created to be very basic, but once you find the nook and crannies that make it a nuanced map, will make it that bit more interesting. So as far as the Call of Duty experience now, it hasn't just been changed, it's been evolved, and I think that's kind of what they're going for. Call of Duty should have a different experience, and as they are being developed differently, one a year, those are kind of hard to kind of continue and keep pace on, even if it is a different developer for each one. So I feel like the continuation on evolving the game instead of just changing things here and there is kind of an interesting take on it. And it is kind of the difference between changing up a game so that it plays completely different, and evolving a game is pretty interesting. I've talked about it in a past video, but Advanced Warfare compared to Black Ops 3 is a lot less tamed. There was a lot more jumping in that game, and whenever you jumped, it kind of created this verticality that was very random. It wasn't a great dynamic experience, but with Black Ops 3, you're kind of a little bit more aligned as far as your experience. You know that people are able to wall ride on this wall, so you will be ready for them to jump off of that wall and shoot you. You know that characters have the ability to thrust and jump around walls, so you're kind of ready to look up with your weapon just in case somebody does decide to jump up high and kind of catch you off surprise. But that is pretty much it for me today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my little rant on Call of Duty then versus now. Just a little rant for you guys. And as always, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.